All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to a daily update on my 1000 days challenge. This is day 55, so let's get things started. All right, so a quick update on terms of my balance. You will see that there's a huge jump actually from yesterday to today. That's caused my main trading portfolio. You can see the breakdown. There will be that the jump from yesterday, there will be from 85 to actually 400. That's caused one of my setup for actually the short setup actually closed because it hit the trading stop loss. So I took profit from that. So which is why I mentioned that even though I could be taking like a single loss of $100 or 1R multiple times, but when I do make my profit, I make multiple R's on that. So that's how I make profit over the extended period of time. In addition, even for my shorter experimental trade, right now it's doing a little bit well because you can see that the crypto market is actually trending very strongly. So bear in mind that because I'm a trend follower in terms of my trading methodology and strategy, I typically make more profit during the trending phase. And during the not so trending phase, the key thing is to minimize the trade, but at the same time, I do continue to take trade setup that are valid as well. So that is something to keep in mind. But at the same time, even though I take profit that is valid, I will keep my losses low, which is keeping it to 1R. And when I make my profit, it will be in multiples of R. So that is how I make my profit over time. All right, so yep, that's basically the update in terms of my balance. In terms of the market update, you will see that there was a, even though this region was touched previously, you can see this bearish engulfing candle. So it does look like short-term wise, we could face further downside pressure on the S&P 500. And in fact, I'm hoping to see more downside pressure, which will give a good discount. This is where I intend to add, because like what I mentioned yesterday, I didn't add here simply because or even here simply because I already have enough allocation in terms of my portfolio wide for S&P 500. Whereas in terms of my other individual stock, it was barely hitting there like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook. So a lot of companies that I wanted to buy didn't really hit where I wanted to. Yeah, but otherwise I'll be waiting for hopefully further discount, or let's see how price action works. So if it could have a support again and could go up, or it would be great if we hit over here and find support as well. All right, and moving on to NASDAQ. Similarly, same thing, we got a small bearish engulfing candlestick over here. So tentatively, it does lean towards short-term bearish momentum, but that doesn't mean that it has to go all the way down because ultimately price is still very much above the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart. Yeah, but if it does fall over here, I may get a little bit, but I remember my allocation similarly, like for NASDAQ with the NASDAQ, I do not have much allocation left available. So I'll be looking for more discount before adding. So probably at least maybe say with what I'm remaining left, I'll probably allocate like 20 to 30% here, and hopefully if it falls over here, then I'll reallocate and add more. Because potentially if it does hit over here, I do see that potentially it could actually break even lower to here. So yeah, but that's just wishful thinking on my end. It may or may not happen. So yeah, let's react accordingly to how price review itself on the day. All right, and for ASHR, similarly, I do see a little bit of a retracement over here, which is great. Hopefully you can hit over here, which I could get a bit more, or I could hit over here, similarly, I'll get more as well. So moving on to KWAM, you can see that this is consolidating over here, which by in general is a bearish sign if you just look at purely this region itself. But if of course you look at the whole market structure, I still lean towards the upside, but because it's building and consolidating over this small tight region, showing that sellers are very much interested to come in to start selling at those prices, because you must understand that this is an ETF, so it means that the underlying constituents in terms of this ETF is that the sellers are willing to come in even though they didn't even manage to hit this high. So this means that the sellers are a little bit more aggressive than usual. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it has to break. Until it breaks below, it show that the sellers are not just a little bit aggressive, but very aggressive and willing to even sell even if it is below the yesterday price. Yeah. All right, then for Bitcoin, great, like what I mentioned, even though previously it didn't hit, like what I mentioned, don't think to the extent that, and to the extent that why did it not exactly hit my target, like 2.75 that I was looking for, whereas the low you can see over here was the 10.286. It didn't hit my 10.275. So in fact, I wasn't better or anything. I told you I will stick to it because there's no reason to panic or whatsoever. And true enough, it did hit. and it didn't hit my stop loss, which I mentioned would be over here. If it does closes above there, I will close. Although over here, you do see a sign of bullish momentum, but in actual fact, I already closed up this trade in terms of price action wise, so it's no longer valid. Yeah, so basically the first target was over here. The second target I mentioned, I'll close when the candlestick closes above the previous one. So it was, the stop loss was like here, and then I move on to here. But basically my stop loss, my trailing stop loss only begins when I hit my first target. So it started from here, and only when price closes above that, which means this candlestick is where it closes above, and that's why I close my trade. So I closed one at 10.25 actually, and then the other one at 10.33 to 34. So overall, I still get a 1:1.55 risk to reward setup, so it's great. Right now, I'm waiting for price action at this 20 exponential moving average. So depending on how price unfolds itself, I will just react accordingly. But I do lean towards further downside momentum, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it have to be in terms of price action wise. But let's see how it unfolds. Because over here, you do see a lower low, but on the side, you do see a bullish divergence on the 4-hourly chart, and also this nice candlestick of potentially support, which is an indecision kind of a doji kind of hammer. Not exactly a doji, but some sort like a indecision in the candlestick wise. Yep, otherwise, that's basically the quick update I have for you guys today. If you guys have anything, feel free to drop by your comments below. And I hope you guys have a great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.